What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Iron Fist Season 1, Episode 8, The Blessings of Many Fractures. Why are all of them 4 words except for 2 episodes? It doesn't make any sense. Why not Blessing of Many Fractures? 4 words, simple. The snow gives way. 4 words, simple. It would have made it make more sense why everything else is written in poor English in 4 words and anyway, so this episode is kind of a two-parter in that we have mainly 2 stories going on. We have the one where the team, Danny, Claire, and Colleen all go to China, track down Gao, and find out about her organization. And then you have what's going on with Ward and Joy and the fact that they're being kicked out of the company and what's going on with them personally and all of that stuff. So I like both of these stories and where they're going with it. The Ward one is definitely more interesting for me because I always like things that are very psychologically thrilling, and so to see Ward kind of go through that and have to deal with the fact that he killed his father and he's starting to see like blood on his sleeve and it's not there, and then he's trying to take Joy to go see the apartment where her father was, and he's seeing like blood trickling down the elevator and he's just like, it's not there, but he sees it and is freaking out because of it. So I just like whenever somebody is being psychologically tortured like that. And the thing is, it's himself doing the psychological torturing. Like, it's not like anybody else is causing this. He brought this on himself. And I love watching a character have to go through that. On top of that, we see Joy isn't wanting to go without a fight. You know, Ward is just like, just give me the money, I'll leave, I'll be okay, I won out. Because he didn't want any of this. His father was forcing him into it. But Joy worked hard to get where she is and worked hard to gain the respect of everybody. So she's just like, no, I'm staying, I'm fighting. And it's kind of interesting to see that, you know, it's almost like as soon as their father got killed, all of a sudden they're being forced out. And I have to wonder, if he hadn't been killed, what would have happened? You know, what would have happened to keep them there? What would he have done to try to keep them there? So I don't know. I would be interested to see what would have happened if Harold hadn't been killed, but it's what it is. Through all of this, we find some interesting things. First of all, Joy apparently took all these photos of everybody on the board either being arrested or sleeping with somebody else. It's not their spouse. So kind of interesting to see that she's kind of got still that dark side of her that helps her get up the business ladder and stay there. So clearly she's got some fighting power to use, although it will be blackmail, so I'm not sure how the board will take to that, but it is a way for her to get back into it. On top of that, we see that she's really concerned about Ward because of what he's going through right now, and she doesn't know what he's going through because he's not talking to her. And honestly, I was wondering if he was actually going to show her that her father used to be still alive, but ultimately, like I said, the psychological side of it gets to him, and he says no, and drags her out of there before she can see anything else. So I'm still wondering if she's ever going to find out about that, because at this point it feels like, why should she? You know, story wise, what would that do to her? I don't see really a point for her to find out right now, unless she finds out that Ward had him alive and then killed him off. Then, you know, that may be a way for her to stop trusting Ward and finally treat him like the crazy psycho that he is. But long story short, I did like that part of it. The part in China was also interesting too, but ultimately it does kind of lead to a cliche place. So Danny, Claire, and Colleen are all heading there. And in the plane, there's some interesting, I guess, character development with Danny. You know, he's freaking out a little bit because turbulence is hitting the plane, and so of course he's seeing that, I guess, that experience again in his mind. I'm wondering if that was all in his mind, or if the fact that they're in the plane experiencing turbulence, if somehow, like, I don't know, it was like that experience was coming back to him, and so it was affecting the plane, because obviously Claire and Colleen were looking a bit worried too, so was he the one shaking the plane? Because as soon as he became calm, so did the stuff outside. And I think there was a scene in one of the last couple episodes where he got upset about something, he got pissed, and all of a sudden, like, lights burst or something like that, like almost like the power emitted from him and burst the lights around him. So I'm wondering if the Iron Fist is more than just power in his fist, if he also has some power to emit energy as well, and if that was like affecting the plane at all, or if it was just a coincidence that, oh, the turbulence is happening right as he's getting scared, and oh, now he's calming down, and now the turbulence is calming down right at the same time. How lucky is that? I wonder if we'll figure out more about that in the next coming episodes. But they get to China. They're tracking Madame Gao. They find out this warehouse that she's been using to make the heroin that they're selling over in America, and so they're they're waiting for her to get there. She's not coming, so Colleen finds this beggar who gives her the information that she needs. They go in there, plan to set the place ablaze, but then Gao shows up right at that time. Claire manages to warn them, but Danny still wants to go after her, of course, because he wants to find out about his father. So Colleen engages in a sword fight, which was pretty badass for the most part. It was a little bit, I guess, cheesy at the end, how Claire shows up just in the nick of the time to toss her sword, and somehow the lady, like, she swung and missed and froze for a second just so Colleen could catch and go bam and hit her in the forehead. But I don't know, the fight before that was really awesome. And on top of that, Claire drove the car through like a gate type thing. It was a wooden gate, but it was locked, and she drove through it. It looked like the glass on the windshield shattered. Like it looked like it had all shattered into, not like broke completely, but like whenever a car windshield gets cracked and you see like just a bunch of little cracks, like almost like a spider web go into it. It looked like they kind of did that when she drove through. I'll have to look again to see if that's what they did, but if so, I mean, the little things do matter, and not a lot of shows would do that. The car would just drive through and be like, oh, it's fine, but it's not that big of a car, and it just drove straight through a wooden locked fence. It might cause a little bit of damage. So if it's true, obviously somebody else let me know. I may watch it again just to see if that's actually what happened. But it looked like the windshield had cracked whenever that went through, so that was pretty cool. But we see Danny gets in with he's trying to get to Madame Gao. There's this guy that's guarding the door in front of her, and he's like completely drunk, but yet he's threatening him. And it's just like, what is this? And it turns into a very cheesy. Reminds me of that Mortal Kombat character, the one that just always has the big jug of beer and is just like gulping it. I mean, he even does like a butt attack at one point where he like throws his butt into him. Just like, what is this? This is weird. And he's actually like a really good fighter, even though he's completely drunk off his ass. But he's actually really good. He's beating him. He's actually doing a lot of damage. And part of that I have to wonder is Danny's mind so clouded with anger and frustration because he wants to get to his dad that's why he's not doing as well against this guy? Or is this partially because he didn't kill Madame Gao in the hand when he could have? Did his masters turn their back on him, and so now his power isn't as strong, and now his abilities aren't as strong? It could be one of the two, I don't know, but for whatever reason this guy takes it to him for a little while before Danny finally starts to gain the upper hand. And so as soon as he gains the upper hand, he knocks him through the door, gets in there and just starts beating the crap out of him, just punches his face over and over again, breaks a lot of bones, blood everywhere. And so Claire comes in with Colleen just in the nick of time to stop him from killing the guy. I think. Danny asked, is he okay? And Claire said, does he look okay? That didn't answer the question, is he alive? But Madame Gao walks in right at that time and says, come with me and I'll help you control that anger, I'll help you control that rage. And Danny, of course, says, no. And Madame Gao says, of course, kill them. So they fight for a little bit, but then one of the guys gets his weapon deflected into another one of the guys. And when that happens, the guy freezes for a second, like, what is this? Like, they're frozen for a good, probably like 5-6 seconds, and it's just nothing happening. They're just looking, as he's looking at his wound in his chest, he's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, he got attacked by his own guy because they deflected it. Why is this important? And then all of a sudden, like, the guy falls on the ground and starts convulsing. I'm like, oh. And sure enough, they're like, the weapons are poisoned. I'm like, that's why they froze like that, because he just realized he got poisoned. And Danny sees like some veiny looking stuff on his face that reminds him pilots had the same look on their face. So he realizes at that point Madame Gao poisoned the pilots, and that's why the plane crashed, and that's why everything happened. So he's pissed. And there's Madame Gao right in front of him, right for the taking. Charges up the Iron Fist, swings, and what do you think happens? Pretty much exactly what you expect. Go ahead, say it. I know you're thinking it. Because I was thinking the same thing. As soon as he swung, the wall explodes. We're all thinking the same thing. Madame Gao is still alive because we never take that type of chance. How much more interesting would it have been if he actually killed her? How many times in obviously Jessica Jones was a much different show. She didn't have these morals that everybody else has. Luke Cage, kind of the same thing. He doesn't really have a moral code, but Daredevil, moral code. I'm not killing anyone. I never kill anyone. So every time he was faced with that challenge, he always managed to not kill them. Even the one guy that I thought he killed by deflecting the spear, knocking it off the lamppost, and it burned the guy alive because it like sparked the gas underneath him. Even he survived. So technically, Daredevil has never killed anybody, even though he's had a lot of chances to. And there have been so many times where it's like he's faced with that choice. He's faced with that option of you have to kill me or else, and he always finds a way out of it. This right here, another one of those moments where you got Claire telling him, "Look, don't kill. It's wrong to kill." You got Colleen telling him, "I think you should kill her. You know, she hurts people, and if you don't kill her, she'll continue to hurt people." And ultimately, there's no question. There's no actual thought of, "Oh yeah, he's actually gonna do it. He's actually gonna kill her." I never question that because I don't know. They never decide to go that way. They never decide to say, "Oh, you know what? Maybe this one time." I mean, considering the fact that he nearly punched a guy's face off because of how upset he was with the fact that this guy was like bringing up painful memories for him, but he nearly punches a guy's face off, and then he finds out that Madame Gao is the reason that both of his parents are dead. This would be a prime opportunity for your hero to have to struggle with the fact that he just killed somebody brutally with his bare hands. But no, nobody wants to take that chance. And honestly, I don't know, it just takes away a lot of the suspense. You know, when the wall explodes, I'm just like, I should feel like, holy crap, did he just kill her? But I never do. In this situation, I never feel that way. I never wonder, ooh, are they dead? Ooh, what happened? Ooh, did they actually kill her this time? I never feel that way. Because you know he didn't kill her. You know that didn't happen because, I mean, they never do that. They never take the chance, ever. So I look at that as another wasted opportunity, you know, just to have your hero do something that is something that they have to struggle with now. You know, think about what Ward is going through right now. The fact that he just killed his father, everything that he's dealing with. Think about if Danny had killed Madame Gao, the struggle he would have to deal with. You know, the struggle of knowing the fact that he just killed somebody. That's something you could really use effectively. But no, we got to keep Madame Gao alive because the hand and all that and blah 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 blah. I don't know. I wish shows would sometimes take a few more chances every now and then instead of just going the same old route we've seen time and time again. But all in all, still a good episode. Still enjoying it. It's kind of funny. Just on a final side note, it's kind of funny seeing the backlash for the show. I've seen a lot of people, like, well, not a lot, but I guess a lot of the people that I normally look to see what they're saying about movies and TV shows and all that. I've seen a lot of backlash from them, just talking bad about it. Screen Junkies is the one that I've been seeing a lot of. Just people talking on it. Andy Signor himself talking about how bad it is and all of that stuff. The casting choices all wrong and all that stuff. It's funny because, I mean, I said in the past couple reviews that I actually found a few things about the show that I really didn't like. And that's not normal for these Marvel Netflix shows. However, overall, it's still a good show. It's still enjoyable. It's still fun. It's still got a good story and good characters. It's almost like people want Marvel to fail so bad. It's very, very nitpicking. You know, like every little thing that is wrong that people don't like, it's like it becomes a big deal. I'm looking at the ratings on IMDb. It used to be initially it was like 8.0 and higher. The first episode was the lowest because most of them are 8.0 at the introduction, and then it was like 8.3, 8.4, 8.3, 5, 6, 7. Then the final two episodes were like a 9.0 and a 9.2. Now I'm looking at it, and it's like people started getting on there and rating it some more. Now it's like, oh, 7.8 for the first one, 8.0, 8.1, 8.0, 8.0, and it's all like lower eights now. I mean, it's still not bad, but it's just funny to me that people are actually disliking the show so much. I'm just like, why? Because the fight scenes are cheesy. Okay, yeah. So what does that have to do with anything? It's still got a good story. It's still got good characters to work with. I don't understand why people just want to find something to hate about Marvel now. It's kind of bizarre because they continue to give us good products time after time. Even the worst movies are not that bad. So I don't know. That's just kind of a side note, something I've noticed. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Iron Fist reviews. I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.